Hi everybody, welcome to another Chats with Chaudhry. Today I'm delighted to be joined by Thomas Fricke, who is the Commercial Director for Pharma at IMA Group. And the reason I'm talking to Thomas today is that IMA Group are one of the main sponsors of Achema Pulse, which is running the whole of June, as well as having a live event itself running on the 15th and 16th of June. And as sponsors, they are obviously showcasing a lot of solutions and addressing a lot of issues around pharma manufacturing. So today we're going to look at some of those issues and solutions that I'm talking about Achema Pulse. So Thomas, it's lovely to meet you. How are you?
I'm very well. Nice sunny day in Bologna and in Germany.
Well, I'm trying to figure out where you were because that's a really interesting image you've got behind you. I've just figured out actually that those are rooftops and that's a forest very far away. Because originally I thought it was a skyscraper looking up, but I've had to look closely at that. I realized
no, it's true. The skyscraper was the new building of IMA Safe, but I have chosen this one just to show one of my personal targets, and this is sustainability. This is our new roof with all the solar panels on the new factory. So we are going substantial.
Oh, fantastic. Well, maybe we'll talk about sustainability shortly then. So before we start talking about what I'm doing at Achema Pulse and also some of the issues that you're talking to visitors about, would you mind giving viewers a quick overview of IMA, I should say, my apologies, and also your own background?
Yeah, so IMA is nowadays a group because I started already 1992 with IMA, so I'm a dinosaur in this company, and I love to work with the Italians. So it has started mainly with the focus on pharma. So the pharma business is the biggest one, is covering more than 50% of our 1.6 billion euro turnover we have yearly, and a constant growth. So I started when we were at 270 million. Now we're at 1.6 billion. We have nowadays 60,200 employees worldwide. We have 48 facilities all over the world. And most probably it's easier to say what we don't do than what we do. So it's pharma is one big aspect. Food with the beverages, coffee, tea is another one. Then we go into food, cheese, bakery products. Then we have the tobacco. So if somebody of you is smoking IQOS, it's made and packed on an IMA machine, sure. And then we have nowadays, because our CEO is very much focused on sustainability issues, we have purchased a company called RTOP. So we are producing machines to make e-mobility. We are producing motors, batteries, and this is another type of our business. So, but I'm responsible for pharma. I have been studying process engineering in the past. I was a salesman, a sales director, an agent, then a branch manager. Nowadays, I'm the commercial director for the whole pharma group of IMA. So to say about, let's say 750 to 800 million euro.
So there is the man who's used to giving people a quick background on IMA, because that was very practice. So fantastic. So let's talk about what IMA are talking to visitors about at Achema Pulse. So you just mentioned, obviously, you're involved in pharma, you're huge, you cover lots of areas. So what are the big topics that you are going to be talking to visitors about at Achema Pulse this month?
So you can imagine, usually when we go to Achema, which is one of our most important exhibitions worldwide, and we are looking forward to it every year, we had a discussion with Achema about this Achema Pulse, and we said, okay, it's already something like a real exhibition with unreal conditions. So we are trying to show what could be interesting for our customers nowadays. And for sure, due to the pandemic situation, we talk about being one of the few suppliers for vaccine lines or sterile lines in general, where we are what we really call a one-stop shop. Starting from the beginning until the pallet, we can supply really everything: the washing, sterilizing machines, the filling machines, freeze drying, labeling, capping, under all the conditions you can imagine. So from this perspective, one of the topics will be this one-stop shop presentation. Then and for sure connected to the actual need of fast-track projects, because we have done a lot of fast-track vaccine projects where we have built up and delivered vaccine lines, not only for filling and finishing, but also for the packaging of the vaccines. So the in combination again with sustainable, so fully cardboard packaging of these products like vials, ampoules, pre-filled syringes, and so on. In our automation group, we are producing devices for diagnostics, so you can have the test, the PCR tests. We have developed last year in a very short time period the machines to produce masks. I think nowadays people forgot already how important it was to try to get masks on the market, which were not overpriced or at least fulfilling the specification. And we were contacted by the Italian government, and we developed a line to produce masks, 400 per minute, and we have delivered 50 of them. So not only to the government, but also to Ferrari and other companies. This is a topic where we talk about. But there is a fight in pharma between sterile and vaccines and the old solid dose, because we should not forget that besides COVID, there are other diseases where we have to find cheaper and more or globally available medicines worldwide against the other diseases which are still existing. And so we talk about the capsule filling possibilities from a traditional perspective, what is still possible and what still makes sense, but also what is new, what new dosing principles we could use, what kind of accuracy you can achieve, how we could do also personalized medicines in this perspective. So there are plenty of things. What we show another, let's say, fashion nowadays is the blow, fill and seal. Yep. Technology where we do the complete labeling, packaging, and even here there are some automation issues included, like the needle assembly to the BFS strips, and this will be also some of the speeches or also the panel forums, because there are plenty of possibilities in Achema Pulse to communicate and connect. It's not the physical connections, unluckily. So we cannot sit down together with a coffee and discuss it, but at least we have a communication possibility with our customers and also with consultants who could help us to keep our focus on what's really needed. Let me see if I forgot something. The continuous process. In the past, we were looking a lot about continuous manufacturing from the solid dose perspective. Now we are doing also continuous freeze drying. We have the first lab machine. We have the processes for freezing, for drying, and for filling immediately. Also here, again, one-stop shop, and developed in the United States with our lab over there and with the connections to the MIT in Boston. So, and the company continues. So a bunch of things we are doing, and the selection of the points what we want to discuss and show was limited due to the fact that Achema told us, Thomas, we cannot give all the time to you, so leave space for the others.
Well, that's really interesting and fascinating. And, you know, because I've got you here, I suppose one question which comes to mind, because you've been in the industry such a long time and IMA are such a big group within pharma, is how do you see the future developing post-lockdowns? You mentioned obviously a lot of focus has been on COVID, and digitalization has been accelerated over the last 12 months or 18 months because of COVID, companies moving into that area, and the speed to market has become very, very important in terms of getting vaccines out there. So post-COVID, if you like, whenever that will be, and post-lockdown, how do you see pharma manufacturing sort of developing? Do you think everything that we've seen in the last 18 months is here to stay now, you know, in terms of remote servicing and everything else? And do you think people's expectations now have changed so that becomes the norm? You know, so now, you know, the vaccine, and I know lots of the vaccines were people working on it for many, many years. It hasn't happened just like that over 18 months. You know, people have been working a long time, and there's been a lot of investment, you know, greater, you know, to get this all done. But do you think people's expectations in terms of drug development have changed now because of what's happened over the last 18 months? And therefore the pressures on you as a manufacturer and equipment supplier has changed, like you said, so they want equipment quicker, they're looking for faster turnaround times and all the other things. How do you think that's going to change post-lockdown?
Yeah, like with all the developments which were made under pressure and under a lot of problematic situations. So the good will remain and the bad will go away, hopefully. So let's say we have learned to install complex and high-speed lines in China without our Italian specialists. This was the most difficult thing to understand for my Italian colleagues, that our Chinese colleagues were really able to install the lines. So local service is one important thing. The local service was supported by new technology, like HoloLenses, like remote connections, like our connected machine strategy. The digital development gave us the possibility to see anomalies in the machine behavior after the installation, figure out why the current or the energy consumption is increasing in an abnormal way. We have seen people fitting and assembly parts in the wrong way, telling them, hey, vice versa, turn it around or whatever. It's just a joke, but it was really interesting to see what is possible from this perspective for the service. For the preventive or predictive maintenance, we took the time to figure out, because COVID was really a nice accelerator for all these remote technologies and for the digital development. We have done, luckily, 6 to 8 big projects before the COVID time. So we could test them under real conditions everywhere. And that was great to understand. So now a decentralization of service, a focus on the digital tools is something which will remain. On the other side, I think at least the world understood how important the pharma industry is. And although that they are very, very conservative, they take care about what they do. There was no fast-track development of a vaccine which was not tested in the same way. This is stupid to say. They just did things in parallel. And this is something what they expect from us also. Thomas, don't wait until you have the solution. Start to build a line. And during the project, we will define together the change of specifications. We will live the project with you together. And then the result will be what is coming out. But we need to have a partner which we can trust, who has served us under pressure already good enough. So from this perspective, some of the good things will remain. And for me, a trend is really what we need to understand is how we can supply good drugs in a reasonable price everywhere, because now we are focusing too much on the Western and European world. So there are other countries who deserve to be served by our market or by our industry.
Well, that's very well said as well. So, and you mentioned sustainability. So, and that's obviously a big focus for you as a business. So what are you doing in terms of sustainability as a group then?
Sustainability is nowadays not a buzzword anymore only,
Sure.
because we are judged by a lot of big multinationals by our activities with regards to energy consumption reduction, CO2 footprint reduction, new facilities with new technologies to reduce the energy consumption and to reduce waste. On Earth Day, we supplied 10,000 of bottles for avoiding plastic cups in our companies. Then the more important part, which I discussed very often with my children, because they are pushing you, they say, Papa, you are developing machines which are doing packaging, that's not good. I said, if I'm developing a machine which is doing a packaging in a sustainable PLA material, compostable, recyclable, then I'm doing something good, because I do more than not throwing one away, but I'm producing 400 a minute in a better quality for the environment. So my responsibility is much higher. And our CEO, Alberto Vacchi, every week I have a call, and one of the topics is sustainability. And it's not only about the EcoVadis rating as how good we are in the perspective of the other ones, how good we are for ourselves. What do we do about the food which we eat in our restaurants of the companies? Is it what we call 0 kilometers? So it's coming from around us. It's not imported from far away only because it's cheaper. And this is something where we take care about. And also our customers are now making interviews which are going far deeper than ever before. They don't want to know anymore our strategies. They want to see the results. So that's the difference.
Fine. And one final question about looking at trends in the last 12 months. The other buzzword which has come out a lot is collaboration. So again, do you think that the collaboration within the industry between competitors with different people is going to continue? And that's just going to grow, or do you think people become insular again in terms of how they work?
Honestly speaking, I think that the competition situation will come back. Collaboration is ending, where the single profit or success of the single one will succeed the other one. So we will have collaborations with our customers more and more than in the past. So confidentiality agreements will be more important, because we will be integrated much earlier in the development phase. And with this, our customers, the pharma industry, will be capable of coming earlier to the market with some, for example, personalized medicines, which can help a lot against some rare orphan diseases. On the other hand, they talk to us about cost reduction in the solid dose area. What can we do in order to produce cheaper, unless they are giving it out to, which is another fashion, to the contract manufacturers or contract packers. And this will be another type of customer which will look to quality, but also to price performance ratios. So we have to be flexible and continue to be flexible to these requests, but two different types of customers with different demands. The big pharma focusing on faster development, reliable in speed, and the OEMs and other production companies which are looking more to the cost. And there comes competitiveness inside.
Brilliant. Right. So finally, we've talked about a lot of issues, and you've already touched on it a bit earlier. So how can people at Achema Pulse get to learn more about these issues? You mentioned sort of workshops, talks. So what actually are you doing at Achema Pulse and over this month, and also live on the 15th and 16th?
On the 15th and 16th, we have a full program, especially on the 15th. We go from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the afternoon with posts, with presentations, with videos. During these time when presentations, so I start at 8 o'clock telling what I'm telling now, I will speak about it later on. So this is preview for you personally. And so they can pose questions during these presentations. Achema, with their organization of the exhibition, is collecting requests for information. You still have the potential to go to the IMA homepage, or to the different local organizations of IMA, which are also in the internet to be found, and then you will get your answers. So we are prepared to receive questions, to give answers, and it's, as I said before, it's not the real exhibition, unluckily, where we have the personal exchange and where we can show also, let's say, confidential developments, because this you cannot show on such an exhibition. We have to wait till the 4th and 8th of April next year, where we have real Achema. But in case somebody wants to have information about something special, for example, how do you pack personalized medicines, treatments when the batch number is between 1 and 10? We have a solution, but we cannot show it. It's too secret, but put the questions in the Achema Pulse and we will come back to you, promised.
Fantastic, Thomas. Well, look, I appreciate you taking time out to talk to me today. It's been really, really interesting and fascinating. So thank you very much for sharing that information. I love talking to people like you who actually obviously know the industry very, very well, because you've all got your own views, and it's great to get those views out there. So all I say is that, as you quite rightly said, viewers, if you've got any questions for Thomas, then please leave them below the video. You can get in touch with Thomas directly. He's on LinkedIn. We are connected as well. And you can also go on the platform, the Achema Pulse platform, and ask questions there. And you can check out the full program that IMA Group have got running through the whole of this month, but also particularly the live days, which are the 15th and 16th, on the platform at the IMA booth itself. It's got a full schedule there, and also contacts there that you can speak to as well. And there will be a link both to the IMA booth and 2, I think, free tickets, because all the exhibitors have got free tickets they can give out. So the link will be there above there, so you can register for free as well if you haven't registered already. Thanks to IMA Group. So Thomas, I just want to say thank you very much again for taking the time to talk to me. It's been really, really interesting. Thank you very much for that.
And thanks for the opportunity, and congratulations for your blog. I really love it.
Thank you very much. And I wish you lots of success for the rest of the month at the show. And hopefully we'll get a chance to meet up live at some point, whether it's at Interfex or maybe next year at Achema, who knows, but or maybe even CPHI, we shall see. But I just say thank you very much for your time. And thank you, viewers, for watching. As I said, there's lots of fascinating topics we've just covered here. I mean, I've really enjoyed it. Hopefully you have as well. And if you want to know more, check out the booth at Achema Pulse, register for the tickets, they're free, or get in touch with Thomas directly as well. And so all that's let me say is until next time, as always, stay well and stay